Okay, hello friends. Welcome to our class called Cooking with Essential Oils. I'm Tina Ciesla, and we have Stacy McDonald joining us today. I'm going to introduce her in a little bit, but I just want to kind of give you some information that some of you might already know, but some of you may be new. And I just want to always make sure that we are saying the same things, the right things, and that we're giving the correct information, right? So primarily today in this class, we're going to be talking about our Vitality essential oils. This is Citrus Fresh. Vitality is a blend of beautiful citrus oils with a touch of spearmint. And I love this. I love it in my water. My mouth is watering thinking about it. But we also have this oil that's called Citrus Fresh. So I want you to know that the only difference in these two oils is the actual label itself. This one is labeled for dietary purposes. This one's labeled for topical and aromatic purposes. So in our governing agencies, we know that we have products that are labeled as a cosmetic, and that's what this falls under. We don't eat our cosmetics, and so they actually love it when we separate that into a vitality label so that you know this is a dietary supplement. Now, here's a little hint. This one has about 100 drops. This one has about 300 drops. I sometimes will refill these with the oil from here because this is the most cost-effective way to buy the oils. So if you're looking at, oh, I've got peppermint in a green label and I've got peppermint vitality, you have the freedom to be able to refill that bottle with the peppermint or whatever the oil is from the larger bottle. Young Living has a beautiful collection called the Culinary Collection where you can get started with a few of those essential oils and some handy cooking gadgets. It's on the website. And of course, when we're talking about cooking and preparing foods and drinks with essential oils, we are only talking about Young Living's products. We're not saying, hey, run down to TJ Maxx, hey, run over to Whole Foods. We are not recommending that you use anything other than Young Living's seed to seal pure therapeutic essential oils in your recipes for food and drink. Okay. For that matter, anything you put on your body, it's absorbing into your body. And so we also recommend that Young Living is the only brand that we use for topical and aromatic uses as well. So without further ado, I'm going to toss this call over to my good friend, Stacy McDonald. She has a beautiful blog. She's going to be telling you about some of the recipes that she's had tried and true for years. And she's going to be sharing some information. I love that we're doing this call right here at the holidays because I don't know about you, I'm literally planning my Thanksgiving menu. So the timing on this is perfect. Stacy, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your knowledge. When you're done, just toss it back to me and I'll fill in the gap with some of the other recipes we talked about.
Sounds good. Thank you, Tina, so much. And I want to just repeat what Tina was pointing out about the vitality oils. I really love the fact, of course, we didn't love it when they first said we had to separate labels because it seemed so silly. It's just two different people wanting to regulate us, two different government organizations wanting to regulate us. But it actually is kind of helpful to have those vitality oils because it shows people who are maybe not used to essential oils and don't understand that purity is what makes the difference. And it allows us, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Here we go. So I don't ding all. So it helps us to demonstrate to new people the purity of our oils because you cannot do that with other essential oils. In fact, a lot of brands will have warnings all over them about do not take internally, could cause death, could cause, and there was one recently, and I won't say the brand name, but it was so funny to me. The warning on it was not to take it internally because you could die and not to inhale it because it could cause severe lung damage. I'm thinking, what are you supposed to do with this oil? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, because you can't smell it, right? So I don't know. But that was something that showed me, we are so fortunate to have the purity of the oils that we have, thanks to Mary and Gary, or we wouldn't be able to be providing this vitality line for cooking. So be sure and make sure that you're only using Young Living because certain oils could be toxic. although I use the oils in a lot of baked goods and sauces and things like that, when you have the opportunity to use them in cold dishes, like some of the recipes I'm going to show you, you also get a lot more of the constituents in there, because if you heat them, sometimes, it destroys some of the constituents in there that can be good for your health. Not all of them, but it will, it's better if you can get them cold. That's why we use cold air diffusers too. Some of the recipes will call for drops, like how many drops to use, but some of the more potent oils, you're going to want to use what we call the toothpick method. And you just stick the toothpick in the oil and you stir it around into your recipe. So you're not getting a full drop. Some of your more potent oils that I would warn you about would be cilantro. I am a cilantro fanatic. I love cilantro, but I did discover there is such a thing as too much cilantro. I never thought I'd say that, but when you're getting the potency of the oils, it makes a huge difference. If you're using it to drizzle on things, or if you're using it in a recipe that has dry and liquid ingredients, go ahead and add your oils to the liquid ingredients first. So add it into your olive oil or your butter or whatever it is that you're mixing that's liquid, and then mix it into the dry ingredients. It gets dispersed a lot better that way, and you're not winding up with too much of the oil in one spot, not enough in the other. One of the things I like to do when I have a party at the house, especially if it's an oil party or an oil demonstration, is I like to have some foods there that have the oils in it. So it demonstrates the purity, and we have the opportunity to show them, because some people are just scared of oils. They're used to synthetic oils. They're used to oils that could hurt them. They gave them headaches, or they've seen the warnings on the cheaper oils, and so they're afraid of the oils. So showing them that, yes, these are so pure they can be eaten. I mean, that demonstrates something all by itself. So I did things like I would make, I have a cream cheese icing that I just love. Not that I'm endorsing all that sugar, but sometimes. And so I make this cream cheese icing, and I put either lemon or cinnamon in this oil. Actually, sometimes I make both, a lemon and a cinnamon. And then I get gluten-free vanilla cookies, or I think we got gluten-free, what are those little bears? I don't know, something like that. And then you can let them dip it in the different icings to show them what it tastes like in cooking, and also to demonstrate the purity. Let's see. Also, citrus oils. Our citrus essential oils are made from the rind of the citrus, not the juice. Okay, so any recipe that calls for lemon zest or lime zest, you can use the lemon essential oil or the lime essential oil and get the exact same flavor. So it is a little bit different than the juice. So keep that in mind. What's another fun thing to do with your citrus oils is to take a drop of it and rub it around the rim of your glass. It makes a nice, even if you're just having water, it just makes a nice little zing to your drink. You can also mix it into sugar, and you have citrus sugars that you can either use as gifts. They really do make really nice gifts. Or you can mix it into salt and make flavored salts, like with black pepper or oregano, things like that. And those also make really, really good gifts. And you can get the little miniature jars and put them in there, and maybe give them a selection of different ones, especially if you're doing the sugars. You could have an orange sugar and a lemon sugar and a cinnamon sugar, just whatever you want to do. Also, with cinnamon sugar, you can make, you can sprinkle that on rolls and kind of have a cinnamon roll kind of flavor to it. Ginger works really good really well in recipes too. If you need ginger root and you don't have any ginger root on hand, you can use your ginger. That works really well. Sometimes I still use the ginger root, but I'll jack it up a little bit with the ginger essential oil, because it's nice to have that crunch of the ginger in certain recipes. So I'll still use a little bit, but then I can make it more potent. Again, it's great mixed in drinks or around the rim, or as in fact, my daughter Abigail is going to talk about a drink that she makes. Hopefully, if she didn't have to jump off with Declan, I think she did. Oh, there she is. Yeah, she makes a really great pumpkin latte syrup thing that she's going to talk about. But yeah, you can make all kinds of things. So today I'm going to be sharing my wassail recipe, and I'll put this in the comments section. My wassail recipe and my Greek quinoa salad recipe my rosemary pecans, which I love this recipe. It's great during the holidays to set out on a charcuterie board or something. And then my Go Green vinaigrette. And the Go Green vinaigrette actually has our Ninja greens in it. So you're actually getting a really nourishing vinaigrette. And you can use this, on salads, you can use it on pasta salads, you can even use it as a dipping sauce. You could just put a little bowl of it out and with your crusty sourdough bread or something like that to dip it in. If you're gluten-free, get, just whatever you use. You can also flavor different mayonnaises with the oils. I make homemade mayonnaise a lot because I like to use it as dips. And so I'll put different herbs in it and garlic and things like that. But you can use essential oils to flavor that too. And then you can get even more, get more creative with it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Go ahead and put this in the comments section real quick. So like, for instance, when I make the rosemary pecans, that is made with egg whites. And so I will add the oils to the egg whites first. Put this here. Okay. Sorry. And when I make the Greek quinoa salad, I will mix it with the olive oil first and mix it all together at the last. And the same with, of course, the wassail, it's all liquid. By the way, this wassail recipe, I'm pretty sure I got this one from Young Living, from one of the recipes that they sent out, but it has been a game changer because our wassail recipe used to be very complicated. We had to do all kinds of things to, chopping things and everything else. And this one is so easy and everybody loves it. I make that all through the fall and winter when we have home events. Especially for our oil people. It makes the entire house smell amazing. And again, you get to demonstrate the purity of our oils. The Go Green vinaigrette is something that you may want to either make to bring with some dipping sauce for your events, or again, you could just go ahead and make the pasta salad. Or a quinoa salad. I have a quinoa salad too that uses oils that I've posted the recipe for. That's great for events. It makes a ton and it's perfect for people to try since it doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's really good for, bringing to an event like that. And so Abigail, do you want Abigail to share her latte recipe first, or did you want to?
That'd be fine.
I don't know how much longer Declan's going to last.
Go ahead, Abigail.
All right. Yeah, Declan is literally right behind me. I got strapped in the chair. Okay, so I'm going to preface this to say, you want out? Okay. You want to say hi? I'm going to preface this to say I did not love pumpkin spice lattes at all. They always tasted kind of gross and slimy to me until I tried this recipe, and it changed everything for me. Like, this is my go-to drink during the fall season. And I love it because you can change it up. You can make it any way that you want. But I'm just going to share the way that I make it. And I've had so many people ask me for this recipe because I make it for guests when they come and visit during the fall. And they're like, this is the best coffee I've ever had. Oh my gosh. So you start out, and unfortunately I can't demonstrate it for you because I didn't have any pumpkin on hand. But you start out with 1 cup. You can use organic sugar or coconut sugar, whatever you have on hand. I haven't tried it with honey, but I tried it with sugar. So you use 1 cup of organic sugar, 1 cup of water, and you want to bring it to a boil over medium heat. So you'll do that. And once it is boiling, you will add 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. And you'll whisk that in for about 1 minute because you want to make sure that you get all of the little bits of pumpkins mixed in. Then you'll take it off the heat for about 10 minutes to cool down because you want those nutrients still left in the oil. You don't want to burn that out. So you want to bring it to a cooler temperature, and you'll add 3 drops of clove vitality, 2 drops of cinnamon bark, and 1 drop of nutmeg. And you'll whisk that in as well and make sure that you get all the oil throughout. Then you'll pour it into a mason jar, and it'll stay in the fridge for like a month if you take care of it properly. And whoa, to make your latte, you'll just add 2 tablespoons of the syrup. Pour in your coffee, cream, whipped cream if you like, however you like your coffee. And Bubby, hands up. And it is the best latte ever. So I will put in the chat, I will put the recipe in case I was talking too fast, but I wanted to make sure you could hear before you started losing it.
That sounds so yummy. I was taking notes too, so I'm gonna let you put that recipe in the chat. And then I don't know where your mom went. I know she's in here somewhere. Stacy.
I'm here. I came
Okay.
back. I was frozen, and when I came back, I was muted.
Okay, so did you have any other things that you wanted to share about the recipes that you shared?
Well, I saw that Tiani was asking about wassail. You remember the Christmas song? Here we go, a wassailing. Da, 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 da. That's wassail. It's a hot cider drink. It's really, really good, and it's very kind of spicy, not spicy hot, spicy spice.
It's
I've also
really
heard-
delicious.
I've also heard people pronounce it wassail.
Okay.
Yeah, when we moved up here to the north, I'm from Texas, and when we moved up to the north, everybody here calls it wassail. So, like, I've never heard anybody say that, but okay. I don't know if I'm wrong or right.
I was telling Connor the other day, I was talking about wassail, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You mean wassail?" I'm like, "What's wassail?"
I mean, I guess it's possible that they said wassailing in the song to make it kind of sound right, and maybe I'm saying it wrong, but
I don't know. Yeah, it cracked me up.
Well, I say wassail, and I've actually been at parties where they've added alcohol to it as well. So if you enjoy a little spirit in your wassail, you can add like an apple whiskey or something that's really good with a fall drink and spike it up a little bit. So it's just a lot of different ways that you can use it. And Abigail, I just wanted to say I love this recipe because like just last night, I was working with a couple who are on our team, and they showed in their Zytoscan some artificial sugar and sweeteners as a stressor. And when we were kind of going through like what they use in their coffee and what they're using in their tea and that kind of stuff, we discovered that it was most likely their coffee flavoring additives that they enjoy in their coffee. And so with this, you can still enjoy your coffee, but not have those artificial sweeteners in it that you find in those commercially made, seasonally prepared, the coffee creamers. I used to be totally addicted to the International Delight Almond Joy. And it's a creamer, and it's like I would have a little bit of coffee with my creamer. That was my treat every morning, but it was also super unhealthy for me. If you start looking at the ingredients in those and you are dealing with digestion issues or pain and inflammation, then you'll maybe connect some dots there. So
yes,
I love that we can do these recipes, and it's not just because they taste good, but they really are bringing life and vitality to your body and not harm.
Yes, and for y'all who do raindrop sessions in your events, it's good to have some detox water ready for the person who's getting the raindrop. And so what I like to do is I make a big carafe with water and fresh parsley and sliced cucumber, and I put that in there, and then I add some lemon essential oil to some honey, because you want to emulsify your oils before you put it into your water, so it's not just floating on the top. So I add some lemon to the honey and mix that in there, and it makes a delicious drink. Actually, if you make it the day before, that cucumber flavor gets really in there too, but it helps to flush out all the toxins, and so you really you want to have something like that ready. And
That's very interesting.
yeah.
Can I show you a recipe that I was planning to share, because it actually might be something that you could use along those lines. So you
Oh,
guys
absolutely.
can screenshot this. This is what we call essential water concentrate, but it's like what you were saying, you have your sweetener in there and then you add your oils to the sweetener and get it emulsified in there. This one,
nice.
you could add your cucumber to it, but we use apple cider vinegar just a little bit. You can't even taste it. Stir it in. I love that it's got fresh lemon juice or lime juice, but I do a scoop of amino wise in there to get some of those amino acids, and then put purified or distilled water in it. So this makes about a gallon of water. And when we are doing our intense essential oils diet, where we're gluten-free, dairy-free, plant-based, and we're, doing like a reset, I keep this on our counter, and this is what we drink all day long. So that might be something that could be incorporated too, because it is such a good detox.
I like that. Yeah. I'm thinking you could even add ICP in there, or
The new Ninja Greens.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or also the golden turmeric would be good in there. Give it some mango flavor.
It would really sweeten it up a little bit too, and
Mhm.
turn it a beautiful color.
Also sulfurzyme. I love the taste of sulfurzyme. I know everybody doesn't like it, but I think it's good. And it would be good in the water.
Well, I have some other recipes. You want to hear about those?
Yes, can't wait.
Okay. So I love this book right here. It's called The Essential Oils Diet by Dr. Eric and Sabrina Zelinsky. You can tell it's tabbed up like crazy. This is the book we follow when we do a reset. Its subtitle is Lose Weight and Transform Your Health with the Power of Essential Oils and Bioactive Foods. It's available anywhere. You can even get it on ebooks, Audible type things, but I recommend the book because there are recipes, there are shopping lists, there are things that you're going to want to see, not just on your phone, on your app. But when you're doing this reset, and some of you may be looking for a way to come off of coffee, either temporarily or for good, there are reasons to do that. So do your research. But one of the recipes is fat burning matcha latte. And kind of like that whole latte experience that Abigail was talking about, I'm putting the recipe here in the chat. You're going to get organic matcha green tea powder. And then you use a tablespoon of that. You're going to make this in a high-speed blender. It stays frothed up a lot better. 2 cups of unsweetened vanilla flavored almond or coconut milk. Remember, this is a dairy-free option as well. If you're not worried about dairy, you could use whatever milk substitute. I recommend an organic whole milk, not any other type of milk that's loaded with hormones and all kinds of stuff. You're going to use purified or distilled water that's been brought to a boil. You can use, now this says 4 dropperfuls of vanilla or coconut flavored liquid stevia. I cut that in half because I can't handle it that sweet. Stevia is actually really good for you. We did a call on myths or facts, Allie and I did, and we talked about stevia. But I use just a regular stevia. You could add vanilla extract if you wanted to, but this particular one has 2 drops of cinnamon bark essential oil and 2 drops of peppermint essential oil in it. And then it's fun to just do a little splash of the little sprinkle of the ground cinnamon. And then you put all that in the blender and, blend it up high speed and pour it in a cup. And this really does have a lift for that gentle green tea caffeine and that matcha powder. But it really does satiate you a long time in the morning. So if you're looking to do a little bit more fasting in the morning and you want to replace your coffee, or maybe you're just doing a little bit of a reset like we do and usually in January, this is a great recipe, but I have a couple of variations of it too. So you can do an immune boosting matcha latte. I'm gonna just throw this in the chat. This one, let's see, did it paste? don't know if it did. Okay. This one, you're going to use your immune boosting blend like Thieves Vitality. It's going to give it a great flavor, but it's going to add that immune boosting quality to this entire matcha latte. Okay. And then it says to make this blend. Of course, this book is non-branded, so they're not endorsing Young Living or anyone, but those are similar to the ingredients in our Thieves. Okay. So then one more variation of this is a pumpkin spiced matcha latte. And it's kind of a little bit like what Abigail was talking about. It doesn't have like real pumpkin in it, but it's got those pumpkin flavors of cinnamon leaf or cinnamon bark, clove, and ginger in it. You can play that around with that. And by the way, if you are ordering on loyalty rewards and you're hitting those gifts with purchase tiers each month, lately we've been getting free fall vitality flavors, right? We've been getting those in free promos. So this is a great way to put some of those to use. Okay, shifting gears a little bit. This one is called Spicy Autumn Breakfast Bake. And this is straight from the book as well. Love this because you can serve this on a cozy fall morning. I think I've got too many characters, so let me break it up because it's not letting me paste it. This one you can serve on a fall morning to your family. Maybe it's Christmas morning and you've got a house full, or maybe you've got people over for Thanksgiving and you've got to use the kitchen for other things. This is another great recipe. So you can read through the recipe, but this one's eggs and oats. You can use quinoa or brown rice. This could be completely gluten-free. It can be dairy-free. It's up to you. Again, use those milk replacements if you need to or want to, but just follow these instructions. This one has ginger, clove, and nutmeg. See the similarity of those fall flavors. And then it's also got pumpkin pie spice in it. So you can use that right out of the spice jar. If you don't have it, y'all, supplement, use your vitality oils. You do not have to have all a kitchen full of spices when you have your vitality oils. You can pretty much duplicate anything in any blend out there. Do I know what page that is on? I'll look it up, but let's see. And then this one we had, so Young Living's USA Facebook page has some great content on it. And recently they did a butternut squash soup and I tried it. It's delicious. This particular recipe is a butternut squash souffle. So it sounds really fancy, but it's not complicated and it's delicious. So I'm having to break this up into 2 pastes as well. So look at that one. That one has some great essential oils in it: cinnamon, ginger, clove, nutmeg. You could leave the almonds out if you have a nut allergy. And again, you can change out any of those recipes for the specific dairy if you're changing things up. And then I know Stacy talked about frosting and she gave you a cream cheese frosting. I love sweets, and it's one of those things that I struggle with, but at the holidays, we bring out the sweets, right? That's why we do the reset in January. But this is a lemon dip with essential oils. You know, Stacy, you were talking about when you have an oil party or oil class and you really want to have some things. One of my favorite things is peppermint gluten-free brownies, but I also love this lemon dip with essential oils, because you can use fruit, you can use, like you were talking about, those little gluten-free cookies, all kinds of things. You could even use this as a glaze over, gluten-free cake if you wanted to. Love that recipe. So those are some that we have tried there's nothing that I have tried out of this book that I don't love, but they're all delicious, and I will get you those page numbers. Do we want to open it up for some questions?
You know, real quick, Tina, I make a simple syrup with oils that I don't put the oils in it until I'm going to use it, but I make a simple syrup and I can post that recipe for the simple syrup. It's super easy. You don't need to buy it. And then it's pure. You can use your evaporated cane juice and then add different flavors to that for It's great for things like lemonade. I know this isn't the season for lemonade, but it's great for things like that, where the sugar doesn't dissolve. And I shouldn't be promoting sugar, but it is the holidays. So we are making things, that happen to have sugar sometimes. But another couple of recipes I wanted to mention, and I can post links to those in a second. But ensalada caprese, I don't know how many people like that. That's that salad that has the sliced
Love
tomatoes
it.
and mozzarella cheese, and then you put the fresh basil on top. Well, if you add basil to your olive oil, so you're making a flavored oil basically, and drizzle that on the top, it pops it up a notch. Also, I like to add lime and black pepper, or lemon and black pepper, to my hummus. I don't actually really like hummus unless it's really tart, like so that it doesn't actually taste like beans. I don't know, it's just me, but I love hummus if it's super flavored. And so sometimes I'll add basil, sometimes I'll add cilantro. I brought it to a church event once, and someone came up and said, can I get your recipe for your guacamole? I said, oh, that's not guacamole. It was green because I had pureed cilantro in it. And I said, that's not guacamole. She said, no, the guacamole right there. Like, no, that's not guacamole. It's hummus. So you get a nice protein boost with that one. And you can just get creative using different oils for that one.
I love that. You reminded me too, Lisa Michael was coming through Birmingham and stayed with us, and we were making a breakfast, and she said, can I make a dressing to go over the fruit? And I said, sure. And we just had, some berries and fresh cut banana and some kiwi, and she threw it all in a bowl, but she took honey and fresh squeezed lemon juice. And then she added just a tiny, like you're talking about the toothpick method, where you dip the toothpick in the oil and then swirl it in. She put rosemary in with that dressing. And I thought, that's going to be really, really like strong, but it wasn't. And it's making my mouth water thinking about it, because it was just really like a fresh herb taste to this fruit salad, and everybody loved it. Now I duplicated it for some family who have small children, and they thought it was spicy. Maybe I got too much in it, but you'll have to play with it and see about adding some of these to the recipes that you're using. To me, it's just so fun playing around with them, and they last forever. There's no expiration dates on the oils. I have them in a little turning dispenser that I got on the Young Living gear store. I don't know that they sell that anymore, but you can find something similar on Amazon. But I go to those oils almost every day to pull something out. And when you know the benefits of these oils, like this morning, I was listening to a replay of a gut brain documentary series, and they were talking about rosemary and your, like, just helping you with your thoughts. So maybe you're tired, and you get a house full of company, and you're cooking for everyone, and you just feel like your brain needs a little boost. Throw some rosemary in the diffuser while you're cooking, and just let yourself lift up, and then add your rosemary to your recipes as well. So many things.
Yes,
Okay, let's
absolutely.
see. Did anybody see any questions in the comments? Amanda, I see that you're kind of monitoring the comments.
So somebody's asking about vitality oils in the refrigerator. No, you do not need to refrigerate your vitality oils. You want them at room temperature.
That's right.
I have one more
ahead.
recipe I was going to share
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, was I interrupting somebody? I have another recipe I wanted to share, and it's basically homemade peppermint patties, if you like, or like thin mint kind of things. But I usually make them into a ball because it's just easier. But it's made with coconut oil and agave nectar, and then you freeze it so that it gets kind of hard, and you can make it into a ball. And you add your peppermint oil to that coconut and agave mixture. And then once it's frozen into balls, you just dip them really quick in dark chocolate, and you have a really luscious dessert for your parties. So I'm gonna share that
Yes,
one.
that sounds great. And I think it's worth mentioning too, because whenever we're talking about vitality oils and using them in your drinks, and in your food, you want to make sure that you're using stainless steel, glass,
Yeah.
ceramic, something like that. And I know that I love putting vitality oils in my water. Now that we have vitality drops, I love those too. But when I have found that when I put my ice, I'm in Alabama, we drink ice and everything. When I put ice in here, if I put my vitality oils on top of the ice first and then put my liquids in, they don't float to the surface as much as they would if I didn't. And of course, this straw is silicone. I also have metal straws, so I don't use paper or plastic straws in with my oils when I'm drinking oils in my beverages. I know that sometimes the plastic cap on these tumblers will get cloudy just from you drinking those oils in there, and you can buy replacement caps. I just replaced that one. So just be careful when you're using your oils in anything that you're drinking. You want them, especially the citrus oils, citrus fresh, lemon, lime, jade lemon. Make sure that you're using something that's not plastic,
Yes.
paper, or styrofoam.
Even the straw, pay attention to that. You don't want that plastic leaching into your food.
Yeah.
You know what? Can I say
Go ahead.
something?
Yes.
When I started, y'all don't know all of our story stuff, but when I started, we didn't have any money. So we just reused Snapple bottles. And even that was better than using a plastic or aluminum. That was, you guys, when I started Young Living, all of my water bottles were pretty much aluminum because they were lighter weight. Oh, the changes we've made. Hey, thanks for spotlighting me for a second. I do have the Vitality set here and I love this set. So I'm gonna pull it out real quick for you because one of the questions is this a good set to buy? I love it. I think I bought it like 4 times. We have a set and I also sometimes split it up for gifts. So it comes with this really nice wood oil rack. Somebody asked about storing the oils in the kitchen. I have this. It fits perfectly in my spice cupboard. So that's how come I love that. And then it does have some good utensils. The quality of them is nice. I would say Young Living does a very good job with their quality. Spatula, spoon. So, oh, good. Look at you linking that. All right. And then I think that this is part of why I really love it. We've kind of laughed at this over a little bit of time. I do love a really lovely bowl. So there's the silicone bottom and then it has a seal-proof lid on it. Do you guys all have this? Have you guys seen this? So that you can seal it and pop the air, like decompress it and hold that air in to keep your stuff fresh. And it has a beautiful cookbook. So I love Tina's cookbook. Tina, there's another cookbook over in the Young Living store. I think we could list that. And then we have the Einkorn cookbook. But this to me is like a great starter cookbook and probably some of the first recipes. I should go get my version of this. It's out in the kitchen. It's a little bit less pretty. It's got like some food spots on it. But some of my very first cooking with oil things that were like recipes came out of this cookbook. So that's just kind of fun. And then you get these oils. So see how you could split this up and make a couple gifts. I have grabbed these and put them in a gift bag with some towels and an oil. And then I use the bowl. I think the bowl is a perfect gift. So I'll just read these to you. It's peppermint, lavender, cinnamon bark, oregano, orange, and rosemary. And so it's perfect because it's got a little bit of sweet, a little bit of savory, and they're all vitalities. So anyway, I think this is a great value set and you could easily just, this is my display one for our vendor shows. It's why it's in the box, but I've bought this at least 4 times for the purpose of just love it on people. It's a perfect housewarming gift. Or if you have
another easy gift, you could break that up and put like put one oil into an organza bag and tie it around a wooden spoon. And that would make just a simple little inexpensive gift.
And I think it really opens your eyes up to what you could do with the oils in a whole new way. That's why I always like showing it because people are like, oh, you can cook with them. It like opens their eyes to what we can do with our oils. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. Thanks for letting me pop in.
So that culinary stand that you just showed, the little wooden one, James put that, my husband put it above the shelf where my food processor is. And one day I was cooking and I didn't notice, but one of the bottles had fallen into my food processor and I didn't see it. So when I went to turn it on, this horrible noise scared the fire out of me. I mean, I turned it off immediately. Thankfully, it didn't break. I couldn't believe it, but it was just like a split second. It was this awful noise. But yeah, watch where you store it.
Yeah, it's just small enough to give you a little bit of lift if you have a cupboard. I also have a cute little oil racky thing. I haven't seen the vendor lately because I got it once at convention, but I screwed that into the shelf. It's just like a one rack, like black wire, where I put my most used cooking oils. I love to keep the vitality in the kitchen because then when you have people to your house,
Yeah.
they too can see, you've got these oils right there in your kitchen that are usable.
Exactly.
Speaking of organization, I've seen oil racks that are magnetic and stick to your fridge. So that's a good one too, to put your vitality oils, because it's right there in the kitchen with you. There was something else I thought about. Oh, you guys know, like when you're trying to, I don't know if you do this, but I know every month when I'm looking at what are the gifts with purchase, what am I getting for free? This month it's frankincense at 400 PV. So I'm playing with my wish list. I'm playing with my things that I need in my family so I could get just right at that 400 PV to get all those free gifts. And sometimes you're like 5 PV away. Sometimes you might want to add a lip balm, but look at adding a vitality oil, because some of these vitality oils are less than $10. And that means they're less than 10 PV. And so you can add a vitality oil and boost your order right to that gifts with purchase tier that you're trying to get to. Of course, use your PV assist and set those goals accordingly each month for whatever the tiers are that you're trying to get. But that's how we afford things. And I know Amanda touched on this. With everybody's is coming to this with a different budget and a different place to start. But to be able to increase your collection, participate in those gifts with purchase each month. And if you can't swing it with your own budget, start asking friends, hey, I'm about to place my Young Living order. Do you want to piggyback with me on this? Because you could get yourself to those tiers and then you get to keep the points and all of the gifts.
Yes. Yeah. And I love just a reminder of what Tina said earlier for those who popped on later. The oil that's in the vitality bottles are the exact same thing that are in the other bottles. They're just regulated by different agencies.
Yep. Just in case you walked in late.
So when I want a 5 ml, I just get the vitality.
Yep. Same thing. Okay. Did you guys enjoy this class? This is a fun one to go through. We learn something new every time, and we'll get this recording ready for you guys for being able to share. It's compliant, so you can share it far and wide. You don't have to worry about saying anything you're not supposed to say in recording and being censored. But also, I wanted to remind you that next week on the 17th, we have a men's class. It's at 7 p.m., I believe. And it is, we're going to have some of our men talking about how they use products in their lives and what they are most passionate about. So we're super excited about bringing that to you guys. And then, we've got this month is, we're anticipating that whole Black Friday release and Cyber Monday. It's just a really fun month to be, yes, it's in the evening, Lisa. It's a really fun month to really get some education and to be plugged in and sharing. And of course, if you are not sharing your Young Living share link with your friends and family, you should look at doing that, because we just had some amazing enhancements to our compensation plan. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about that on our Brand Partners Simplified call, which is on the 15th at noon, correct? Is it a different link, or is it this one? It's this one, right?
It's this one.
Yeah, it's this link. So Brand Partners want to make sure that you and your teams are attending that Brand Partner Simplified call. We have it the first and the third Tuesday of every month. So the next one's on the 15th. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks for popping in, Amanda.
Oh, thanks.
These are fun to create. I
can't wait to try some of these recipes y'all shared.
Yes. Oh, before we hang up, you guys know how to save the chat. If you're on a desktop, over there where you've been typing in your questions and your comments, in the far right-hand corner, there are 3 little dots. if you want to save this chat, and I think this is a great chat to save because of all the recipes and links that have been shared, you will just hit those 3 dots, and your first option at the top is save chat, and it's going to save it to your desktop. Just go in there and rename it so you'll know what it is, Cooking with Essential Oils, and today's date, so that you can reference it again. Ask me how I know. I've got so many saved chats and I don't know which is which. So anyway, I hope this has been a great resource for you guys, and share what you're doing in your kitchen with your Young Living products. There's so much to do. We didn't even talk about all the things you can make with Ningxia Red. That's a class all in of itself. We should probably
True.
schedule that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.